Hey, what's up, besties? I wanted to do a little eye mask with you guys today for our coffee chat. I have some tea, passion tea, and I'm gonna give you guys some advice that I've learned over the past 26 years tomorrow. Tomorrow's my birthday, June 13th. So I'm gonna be 26, kind of excited, and I want to do a little eye mask and give you guys some advice that I think has helped me. One of my first advices, I guess I should say, that I have, it's really weird. I don't know why it's a weird one, but I've been thinking about this all day. When someone drops something in your vicinity, when someone gets interrupted, just small things like this, make it a point to try and be a safe person. So I don't care how frustrating it is. Trust me, I'm a very clumsy person. I have tested this with my boyfriend so much. He never, ever gets upset. I've dropped pans, pots. I've dropped a whole cookie jar. I've dropped spices. I've dropped probably the worst things that you can drop. Red things on our carpet. And you know what? The response has never been, "Why would you do that? You're so stupid, da 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 da." And I didn't really grow up with that reaction towards me. Like, I broke TVs and stuff. But never yell at anyone, your kid, your friend, your sister, your mom, whatever, when they drop something. I know it sounds so minuscule, but I feel like it actually deteriorates or impacts your relationship with that person when they feel that you've, how do I say, blame them. In our household and even with friends, I've always been asked throughout the past couple years, like, my friend will drop something and I'll be like, "Are you okay?" And I'll go help them clean it up. And one of the first things I'm oftentimes asked is, "How are you so calm?" Like, I would have been yelled at. I always get that. I would have been yelled at when I was growing up. And so I make it a point, like, someone could actually drop the Rosetta Stone, the Mona Lisa, in front of me, and I'd be like, "Are you okay? Do you need help?" And I think it's a really good advice point. My second advice that I have is, you don't have to argue about everything. I used to be a massive chronic arguer. I guess I had a contrarian nature where I wanted to contrast everything. If you told me the sky was purple, I thought it was yellow, and I had to fight as to why it was yellow. It wasn't until I was more secure in myself that I stopped arguing. When I was really insecure, I felt like I had something to prove or something to challenge. But now that I have a base level understanding of who I am, I don't really argue unless it's something that really triggers me. But yeah, I also think this is a really good safety skill. I actually just saw a post today about a woman who was unalived on a Facebook marketplace deal right in front of her son because she made a smart remark or like rebutted. So you don't have to agree with someone, you can just sit with silence. And I learned this from my boyfriend. Some more advice, guys. It feels weird because I'm just like in front of a camera being like, let me give you advice, but I don't have anything written down. This is all supposed to come from my brain. It's kind of like a Toastmasters vibe where I'm trying to be better at my speech, my etiquette, and understand my thoughts. So it feels like I'm doing a Toastmasters where I'm not supposed to say but I keep saying The third piece of advice that I have, probably don't take anything too serious. I don't get embarrassed. I know that's a weird skill to have. I know a lot of other people feel embarrassed, but I've actually never felt embarrassed in the moment. So all the time people will be like, "Go up there and dance. Go do this. Go do this thing. Go do that." And I'm like, "Yeah." And I just go. I don't ever think about it in the moment. I am not afraid to raise my hand in class a million times. I was that person. In fact, that person. I don't take myself too seriously. Like, when it comes to being fun, making mistakes. That I'm not afraid to be embarrassed in. The embarrassment usually sets in after because I'll start critiquing myself, but do not be embarrassed to kind of branch outside of what you feel is your norm. So dancing, singing, karaoke at a night bar with your friends. Don't take yourself too serious, right? When it comes to those things, at least in my opinion, because it actually makes you feel better sometimes that you experience that thing with no embarrassment. You feel almost like invigorated. You're like, oh, I did that and I wasn't scared. Oh my god. I feel like life is, this is something that I say all the time, and I don't know if it's a depersonalization, one of those words where like you don't think anything's real. I do that all the time. I'm like, life is a video game. And people, when I go out all the time, this is something that's happened since I moved to Dallas, people will say all the time that I'm Mexican. I'm not Mexican. I am Puerto Rican girl. And I will be like, yeah. They'll be like, oh yes, you know, us Mexicans, we make tacos. Yeah. I've probably never made authentic Mexican tacos, like, ever in my life. But for some reason, I just don't take it that serious anymore. I used to get so upset. I used to be like, how don't people know I'm Puerto Rican? Can't they see? Which, like, not all Puerto Ricans look the same, so it's a very interesting way of looking at things. But I don't get embarrassed. I don't take anything too serious anymore. You could say that I am blue and I look like an alien and I am confusing and my eyes are purple. And I'd be like, yeah, because life's too short to argue. Calling back to the other one, life's too short to argue and to be embarrassed and to care. My next piece of advice is closed mouths don't get fed. I say this all the time. I think it's very important because, especially this year, I can probably list out, I'm not trying to, I'm trying to give you stats. So I'm not trying to be vain when I give these stats. But closed mouth don't get fed is very important to me because this year I was able to speak at my graduation, my master's graduation, all because I asked. So that's one thing. Like, just having a closed mouth in relationships, like not asking anything, not taking a leap, a chance, I feel like you don't progress or get anything cool. I've gotten most of my, not promotions at work, but like job transfers from asking, from talking to people, salary, like negotiating. I've gotten the price on things lowered by negotiating and asking. You can't get what you want if you don't ask. And I know that's extremely scary, but something I learned in my 26 years of walking this earth this year, right? I've been really trying to make it a point to do what I want. So another bit of advice is, although you can hang out with friends, you can do, spend time with friends. I love doing that. But if I feel myself overextending myself, I try to get a day that week and do something for myself. So this year, I would arguably say, is the year that I spent the most time doing stuff for myself. If someone asked me to hang out and I was busy, I was like, hey, I'm busy. I used to never do that. I was a really big people pleaser. So posting content is a big one. I used to be so embarrassed to post content. Not embarrassed. Nervous about what other people would think. I would still post it, but I would get nervous right after. That's my whole thing. I felt embarrassed after. So this year, posting on TikTok and YouTube and all of that, I have 641k views in the past 2 months on YouTube from not being embarrassed, just posting, just doing. And I guess my stats are just supposed to motivate you as well. I want to motivate other people to take the leap of faith. I hit 4,000 followers on TikTok, which doesn't seem like a lot, but they are like a little community and it's so cute. And that's enough for me. For me, the whole subscriber follower thing is like, this is my community. These are the people who are gonna conversate, are gonna talk to me, are gonna respond to my posts. Like, that's why it's important from a community standpoint. Never in my life did I ever think 500k people would ever see my face or hear me talk or be asking questions. My very last advice for this video is going to be, learn how to sit with yourself, be bored, like be by yourself. When I was younger, I was always like, I need to go out, I need to do this, I need to go out, be with friends, be with friends, be with friends. And I think it was a way of escaping myself and not having a personality for myself, or like feeling my own feelings and realizing who I am, what I like, whatever, or not having to do any of that, like not having to do any self-exploration. And it's the same thing with also learning. Like, I've always been into, I need to learn, I need to learn, I need to learn. I think it's a way to channel my feelings, my thoughts, my emotions elsewhere instead of reflecting in on it. So if you are not a person who can sit with being alone or can be with yourself, be bored for 2 days, I think that's a really big way to challenge yourself. If you're looking to grow as a person, to figure out who you are, to explore, sitting alone with myself like this, talking to myself in my journal, has probably helped me more than anything else with figuring out who I am as a person. So that's just some small advice that I have from the 26 wise years I have on this planet. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you so much. Have a great day. Bye.